Hi everyone, this is Johan from RealityMethod. Okay, so the idea here is that I thought about making a quick video because this is kind of getting to the end of it. There's about 5 days left as I'm making this video now towards the closing of our first RealityMethod group coaching program that runs over an 8-week period. Now here's the deal. If you've missed the webinar, we'll probably add a link to it at some point in the future, but we gotta have your email address, so add that in below and we'll see if we can get that to you as well so you can have a better and a clearer view on it. Otherwise, go to our Shopify store. We'll add a link there. It's a secure payment portal, and you can get in before the days close. And we also have a limited number. The reason I have a limited number is because this is the very first time that RealityMethod is going live on an international scale, and I don't want to have too much because I've kind of got that same ADHD problem that a lot of you will probably had, because that's kind of who I targeted this particular session for, because that was the reason that I got into this. That was the thing that started the whole process when I was just frustrated and irritated and fed up with the idea that I couldn't get anywhere. I didn't realize what I had. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot here. So I didn't realize what I had, and basically I can't blame ADHD, right? It's something you either have or you don't. There's some fascinating examples of how you could use that to your advantage. And luckily, I've got some of those. But at some point, I was at that place where it was just crazy to do certain things, and I said, that's it. I got to figure out how does my wall work, because it's nuts. And RealityMethod was a result of that. It's a simple shape. I'll show that to you inside. We have a whole bunch of videos. If you go to whichever place you go, if it's YouTube or wherever, Instagram, just type in RealityMethod and you should get somewhere. And you'll see the shape there that we use. So there's a couple of things I think that I get questions on most. It's misconceptions that people have that has ADHD, and other people as well, I suppose. And one of the first ones in there, and there's 3 of them, but one of the first ones is that life is complicated and you can't solve it, and it's predestined, and it is what it is, and you just have to do the best with what you can. And I don't agree with that at all. In fact, we use that as an example in the presentation where we said life is not complicated. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute as to why. And the second thing people do is that they think it's chaotic. It's uncontrollable. You can't suggest, as I propose it, you can't suggest your future. You can't predict it. We all get that, because there's this chaotic part that's a part of life. But you can suggest where you want to go. And if you don't do that, you have got almost no chance. There's this test that they do with a whole bunch of people. And what they do is they say, right, fine, you can go anywhere in the room, you can decide, but pick a place and you got to get there. And as soon as they say go, they go stand in front of them, they put something in it. What happens is people go around, they go over, they go under, they go through, whatever, right? They've got to get to that spot. If they do the same experiment where they say, right, fine, you can just go somewhere, you don't have to pick really where it is, and okay, go. And they put something there, some people stop, they go completely different direction, and so forth. So it's interesting to understand that if you have a place to go, you can get there. If you don't, chances of you getting even close to that, almost zero. Okay, and then the last thing that a lot of people say, look, I can't do it. My head is full. My head is I mean, I'm talking fast here. That's just wrong online. That's wrong on videos, whatnot, all right? But you probably relate a little bit. So your head's full of stuff, and I've got to make kind of notes here. Otherwise, I want to talk for half an hour about this thing, which I'm so passionate about. But that's not true either, right? Anything is possible. And with RealityMethod, what it does, and perhaps I should share, let's look at that first thing. Life is complicated. It's not. Consider this. I came up with this when I learned the idea that about 3,000 words, if you've got 3,000 words in any language mastered, or you understand them, or you can converse in them, you've got pretty much all questions and you pretty much have all answers. Now, if that's the case, then all books in a particular language on a particular topic has got 3,000 words in it. So basically, it's just the words in a sentence that gets changed, the different sentences that makes up a paragraph, different paragraphs that makes up a page, different pages that makes up a chapter, different chapters that makes up a book on the same topic, same words. Okay, so life's not that complicated. We don't use 1,000 words every day. We use a very few amount of numbers. So if you start to think about that, you realize, my goodness, life's not as complicated. It's our minds that makes it complicated. Second part, right? It's chaotic. Yes, it is chaotic, but there's 3 parts to reality. The first one is external things that we don't control. And at the bottom level of it, we don't control any of it. So if we don't make an effort to go through that bottom part, there's just no chance. But it doesn't mean that you have to have ADHD. There's a lot of people that lives in circumstances that is just nuts. And if they don't make the hard effort, reality has to be hard at that level. It has to, because most people will give up. And that's why the few at the top get so much and the lot at the bottom get so little. It's because most people at the bottom either accept it the way it is or they gave up, right? And the last one is can't do it. Listen, if everybody does certain things well. Some people does getting overweight well because they eat too much. It's a habit. Some people does brilliant looking body well because they go to gym often. It's a habit. Some people watch television constantly. It's a habit. Some people study a lot compared to others that don't. Both of those are habits. So you got to pick it, like I said, the destination, and then you got to work it, but you got to understand where to place those steps, where to place those actions. If you do that, and Reality Method shows that to you in the simplest possible shape, you've got every chance in the world. The only thing you cannot do is to give up. Right, so what is the answer for us here? And I'm suggesting, for me, it was Reality Method, and I want to share that with the world. I don't know how to do it any else. I am not good at this. I suck at online marketing. I'll learn. So what you get is just raw me. So here's the thing. Reality Method has got 3 parts in it. External things that we don't control, internal capacity, which is this immense, incredible level of ability that we've got as human beings, right? But the difference between why most people live on a state, it's about 51%, which most people live on, this mediocre concept. But if you look at Reality Method, if you live at that level, what you get out of life is 25%. It's interesting how that works. So the 3 parts is external things we don't control, internal capacity, and the combination of those 2 things will give you a result, a value in the marketplace, right? On any particular topic. And since we only have 3,000 words to understand what to put into that model, that cup that we call it for life, it's not that difficult. So all the content in the world we can put in this thing. But here's the deal. It gives us, and it says to us, we've got 24 hours. So I can't spend all my time and all the content in the world. I can't do it in this. So if I've prepped it, if I've decided what I want, which is exactly what this 8-week course is. 6 areas. We take 1 week for prepping, understanding how Reality Method works. The second week, we clean up our frustrations, our hassles. We clean up our life in 1 week's time. It's possible. 1 week's time, we clean it up. And then we start. We start with physical, we go to emotional, we go to mental, things that you're interested in. We go to social, we go to financial, right? Opportunities. It's everywhere if you just look. And here's the thing. This is an opportunity. ADHD is an opportunity, right? Who would have thought? I'm talking to people with ADHD, and a lot of them probably. So I hope that if you don't have it, you share it with someone that you perhaps know, because it's important. And then the last one is lifestyle. What do we want out of the whole thing? And the whole thing kind of go that Fibonacci number thing. It just grows and grows and grows. I'll share how Reality Method works over time as well. It's pretty cool. Okay, so because you've got it in there, it says this is what I want to do with my day. And in most cases, we just pick 2 to 3 things. In fact, there's a couple of tools. I'll share that with you now here. But there's only space for 3 things per day in that thing. But guess what you get out of 90 days? Out of 90 days. You get at max 270 things that you wanted for you, for your life, done. Or you're working on those. Only those. All the other stuff, the emails, the jobs, the do this, do that, it's not in there. Not part of where you want to go. It only allows the stuff that you suggest for it. And then can't do it, right? So what we do there is we build it step by step. We understand when it's going to be hard. We understand when it's going to be chaotic. And that's kind of part of why it's an interactive course. Yes, there's videos to hell and gone, and there's a lot of them, which you can watch most of the time, about 8 minutes. Well, this one's already 11. But basically, we have chat groups where we talk and people can ask questions. And the reason is that Reality Method is built to get results. And it's built for the idea that life is not that complicated. We make it complicated. And certain chemical things in our system makes us more complicated than most people. Less focused, perhaps. Whatever it is. But I mean, this is a pretty focused concept, isn't it? For me to have that level of ADHD and focus on something, yeah, I have a few notes. But this is cool. And for me to have gotten to this point was just habits. I've worked at it. Okay, so building it step by step is kind of how we go. And as soon as we reach a particular place, which I call marker method, then we go to the next level. We celebrate there, we go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And if we don't give up, we'll get to where we want to go. And the idea is that you do that every 90 days. You start from scratch. Some of the things you've reached, you've ticked it off. In our, maybe I should show you a couple of tools that we have. This is one of my first. We're doing the new ones in Cork. But basically, it's a board that you put up. Where do we start? We start with physical, right? So it's a board that you put up, and there's 3 parts to it. Like I said, this is the original one that I have. The new ones are cork that we're going to send out, and that's being wrapped at the moment. So basically, there's the 3 parts in here, which kind of works like that for each of these things. And there's the chaos part, and here's the capacity part. You combine these 2 things, it'll give you a result. Remember what I said about the 50% where most people live? Guess what? If you draw a line over there, look at this. That's only 25% of life that you get. Interesting, isn't it? So you've got to move that part, and that's where your capacity is. That's the level of your capacity. But the thing is, most people are only interested to a particular level. And if they're interested to that level, it's easy to get there, but they get a very small part of it. So basically, this one is for pictures. So this is also your past, your present, and your future. So you put some of the future pictures here. Let's take something that we're interested in. We'll give the same thing just to give you. I should have maybe hold one of those other ones back. But basically, you put pictures in here, which is your future. As soon as you decide that you want to work on those, you move those pictures to here, right? So they can fit over there. And as soon as that's done, guess what? The whole thing actually comes in here, and you can put those pictures in there. So it goes from there to there, from there to there. And this is your core capacity. This is what you own. This is what you've done. This is your experience. This is your past. It's the stuff that you can build onto. Another tool that I've built for myself, this one, it's interesting because if you come on in here, your name is going to be on the top here. This is the one that I scratch on a lot. So, okay, so your name is on there, and your initials is on the back. And the reason is what we want to do is we want to build first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, next year, first quarter, second quarter. So you build a history, a hindsight of what you've done to get where you are. It is, all right, so it's personalized for you. You can send it as a gift to someone. It's called Reality Method Diary. You can get this separate if you want. There's where it talks about what we're doing. Here's a little bit about how you can get to your past. It talks a little bit about Reality Method and how that works. There's also a section in here for people to add their own content, and I'll print that for them. Here's Reality Method. It's a new way of understanding certain things and the parts. Here's the goal setting concept of how you can get to anywhere you want to go as quickly as possible. Here's some life areas, the stuff that we worked on, like your vision board there, all the areas and what you want to achieve in that. And as soon as you've done that, then here's the thing. There's a morning routine section. There's a day, what you want to do in your day, and the 3 things, only 3 things that you want to do for that day. Here's an explanation of what your day looks like. There's a dark side and a light side. The light side's for morning, the dark side's for night. This thing will not take you more than 5 minutes a day to fill in, right? So if you don't want to do that, you can combine them for the night. If you don't want to do that, you can combine them for the morning. So, and at the end of the week, this thing is brutal. You know, I created this for me. I said I have to find a way to get a routine. I have to find a way to force myself to concentrate on the things that I want for my life to happen, because it's nuts up here. It's a fascinating world, but it's also crazy. And on day 3, I realized something. This book is brutal, because I looked back and I said, I didn't do something yesterday. So if I skip it another day, I'm not going to make it by the end of the week. And I had to go double up on that thing yesterday because I missed it yesterday. But it's that brutal. It'll tell you week 1 where you've messed up and where you've wasted time on whatever. I can't even remember what I did instead of what I was supposed to do. But this thing will force you. In the beginning, it's kind of, you know, hard, because you know, you said you want to lose some weight, and it's walk around the block every day, and you missed the day because it was cold or it was raining or whatever. You got to do something, man, because at the end of the week, I want 5 tick boxes in 5 days. That's what you said for yourself. That's what you got to put in this sucker. Otherwise, it'll show you what you haven't done. You just show you if you've got your 4 weeks, then at the end of the month, where is that page? Here we go. So that's a thing at the end of the month. That thing will tell you where you're going, how you've improved actually towards the thing. And here's the kicker. For month 1, the hardest part is in that bit. And it kind of congratulates you for going through that. And then after 3 months, you know, you've got 3 of these things, and you can go back and you can say, that's where I was. Here's where I'm now. This is all the stuff that I've done. It shows you all the things that's negative in your life, and we look at that, and it identifies the things that holds you back. And there's 3 influences in your life. We share that inside here. There's only 3 influences. The other one is you. Everything about the other one is you. It's your habits. It's your decisions. It's your thoughts compared to your actions. I mean, you have to have thoughts to come up with an idea and a solution, but you execute it with your hands. You have your thoughts here. That's where the plan is. But the hands, the actions, is where it's solved. And we have a look at the distribution of these 2 things, because at 50-50, that's good. But if it's 90% thoughts and 10% action, probably not going to get a result, right? If it's only action and no thinking, you're probably going to, I don't know, hurt yourself, right? So there's this balance thing, and you put that in there. And look, I probably have talked a lot too much again. So let me just go through my little notes here. So I'm sure this is a pretty good thing about what we did in the presentation. But I quickly wanted to do this for you just in case you missed that, to give you an overview as to where we're going to go. So should do that. Yeah, the shape. I've quickly showed you what that shape looks like. And that's the platform for your life. That's how what I believe your reality looks like. Obviously, it doesn't look like that. So I mean, nature doesn't have straight lines. And if you add this, it shows you how your world works. And it's hard in the beginning with no value, and it's easy at the top with a lot of value. This also shows why so few people have so much and so many people have so little. And the reason is the level that they're playing at. Is it at that level, which is your capacity, but you got to choose to do so. Most people play about here. If you've got ADHD and all kinds of chaotic stuff, chaos is over here, right? It'll drag you down. So that's the shape of Reality Method. This is a quick video. It's a rushed one. I know, but it's exciting stuff. I would love for you to come on in. I've shared as much as I can on a video. There's a couple of days left. There's a few people. The course price, I've halved it to what it is normally. If you don't have the funds for it, you can go to PayPal. They've got a quick credit thingy if you're an American citizen, so that's an option for you to do. Give it to a gift if you have the ability to someone that you understand this. There's 100% money back guarantee on the program, which is always good, at least for the first 30 days. I mean, by then you know whether this is going for you. And it's probably the thing that saved my life. So it's important that we get this out there. Then there's a link below here that will take you to the shop. To get it, go get in. I'm not going to take a lot of people, and the reason is I don't want to overwhelm myself. What's the point? So I really want to get results for everybody that's in here. I work with you. I do sit-ups, push-ups every single day with you guys. So I understand if it's cold in the morning. I understand getting up for a morning routine in the beginning. For me, it's kind of fun now. I'm looking forward to those things because I've built that habit up over time. And the idea for me is to really take this to the world. So at this point, it has to be a certain price. I really, really, really want to get that little by little by little, and we're building potentially an app for this. The technology is coming online for us to do that. So that will be cool, and everybody that's in with me from the beginning, of course, they'll get a whole bunch of benefits, if not for free. A lot of these things. So there's links below. Please add a comment, ask a question on this video link. Why not? It's there. The reason is that I could potentially answer that up front, or it could assist us in developing the program even more. Yes, there's videos that's already done, they're there, which talks about the core stuff here, but there's also the idea that it's interactive. So I can say, listen, a lot of people ask this particular question. Here's what it would look like in RealityMethod. So do that, ask questions, comment, please, it's important. And then share this with people, share this with your Facebook group. Like I said, I suck at this marketing thing. I'm pretty much gonna ask you to help me out on that, because this is important. And if you can't afford at this particular point in time, not sure how many times a year I'll have this, one at least goes for 90 days. So if you can't do that, $47 for the RealityMethod diary, plus a little bit of shipping, I think, because I print this for you. You've got this to work with, and it's got some videos to help you out with this as well. The course, it covers all the areas of your life. You can take that shape and you can minimize it to health, wealth, and happiness, or you can do whatever you want. Come on in. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this, but basically the point is this: life is not as complicated as we think, right? And life is not as chaotic as we think. Most of the control is in our ability to do, but you got to have a plan for that. And then the idea that you can't do it, I'm telling you now, you can do it. If I can do it with one arm, figured out how to do some bicep stuff here, and I got to grow this arm, right? That's part of my goal for the next. Got to grow this, got to grow shoulders, I got to get the six-pack going before the end of the year. I mean, it's holiday time. Who doesn't want one, right? And if you've got the capacity for a six-pack, then the idea of losing weight, I'm struggling with losing weight. Not if you, that thing's brutal. It'll tell you, listen, you're still overweight after a year or whatever you've taken or said that you want to do a goal because you haven't done it. That's the reason. If you have the capacity for a six-pack, losing weight is kind of a byproduct. It's a benefit to get that six-pack. Now, if you don't have the interest, then we go to the psychological part where we say, pick an interest, go for that. You shouldn't be unhealthy. Go for that, and then accept it. Right? Don't make it a complicated story. Don't get all emotional about something that you're not prepared to do in the first place. Fascinating world. Come on in, realitymethod.com. My name is Johan. Have a look, and I'll see you inside there. As always, enjoy the journey.